Also at this hour, India says it supports direct negotiations between Israel and Palestine. Speaking at a UN Security Council meeting on Palestine, Indian ambassador to the UN, T.S. Tirumurti, said that Palestinian demand for statehood can be fulfilled through an open and direct dialogue. Tirumurti reiterated that there is no alternative to direct peace negotiations between the two sides. The Indian ambassador added that the dialogue based on the internationally agreed framework can also fulfill Israel's security concerns, highlighting the direct talks between Israel and Palestine through the Madrid Peace Conference. Tirumurti said a similar effort is required now to overcome the present impasse. He further stressed that India stands ready to support all efforts aimed at resumption of direct negotiations. India is also ready to facilitate the peace process to achieve a two-state solution.
Our complex region that are causes of joint.
We believe that durable and long-lasting peace can be achieved between the people of Israel and Palestine only through a two-state solution which entails the establishment of a sovereign, viable and independent state of Palestine within recognized and mutually agreed borders living side by side with Israel in peace and security. Both the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people for statehood and Israel's legitimate security concerns can be fulfilled through an open and direct dialogue between Israel and Palestine based on the internationally agreed framework. We reiterate that there is no alternative to direct peace negotiations between the parties.
Indian representative also condemned the violent attacks against Palestinian and Israeli civilians. Tirumurti called upon the parties to make concrete efforts and reverse these negative trends. India says unilateral actions that undercut the viability of the two-state solution must be avoided in the interest of peace and stability, and parties must instead engage in steps that help in resumption of peace talks. Indian Foreign Secretary Harsh Shringla is on a two-day visit to Myanmar. This is the first high-level outreach from India since the Myanmar military coup in February this year. During his two-day visit, the Foreign Secretary will hold discussions with the State Administration Council, political parties and members of the civil society. The Myanmar State Administration Council, or the SAC, is headed by General Min Aung Hlaing, who seized power in February. Remember, the country's military evicted the democratically elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi in a coup on February 1st. The External Affairs Minister said in a statement that two sides will discuss issues relating to humanitarian support to Myanmar, security and India-Myanmar border concerns, and the political situation in Myanmar will also be discussed. Myanmar is one of India's key strategic neighbors. Myanmar shares a 1,640-kilometer long border with a number of Indian states, including militancy-hit Nagaland and Manipur. Some militant groups from India's northeast region are reportedly taking shelter in Myanmar. Recent spat in militant activities in Manipur and Nagaland has been a concern for India, and it is one of the key issues that Shringla will flag in his meetings with Myanmarese authorities. Myanmar itself is witnessing massive protests following the coup. The Myanmarese military continued its crackdown on civilians who are protesting against the coup. According to reports, hundreds of people, including children, were killed in the crackdown by Myanmarese authorities. India has condemned any use of violence and stood for the restoration of democracy in Myanmar. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.